Good morning, Chaoslings. Good morning, everybody. It is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter for those who are celebrating either later on this afternoon or earlier. Um, I was lucky enough to be able to celebrate with family yesterday so that I would be able to be here for this. Um, so, welcome into episode 4 of the Sunday Brunch Club presents Utharian Legends. We have our lovely and wonderful Jess back with us, and we couldn't be more happy to have her. Um, so we will be jumping right in. I do want to go ahead and mention before we get started, I wanted to make a special shout out to my Celine, who has been incredibly helpful in all of the background of all of this as a sounding board for story bits, somebody that I can actually tell all of the twists and turns to, because most of the people I would normally tell are in this game, and that makes that somewhat more difficult. She is also the architect and artist behind most of the battle maps you will see today and going forward, because she has mastered a brand new program to do just that and is incredibly talented at it and blows me out of the water every time she does it. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that we called her out and thanked her for all of the hard work that she puts in behind the scenes that people can't see. Well, they'll see the effects, but they won't necessarily see her doing it.
Woo, yeah!
And the two other things I wanted to mention before we get jumping right into story bits. 2 weeks, the 18th of April, will be a special episode, as we will have not one, but two royal guests with us. So make sure that you don't miss that one. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that if you have not already, be sure to check out the Never Ending Kickstarter. They have been hitting stretch goal after stretch goal. They're adding in all sorts of features. And honestly, as somebody who can't even do stick figures, it is such a godsend to be able to go, oh, I can go to this website and get actual, an art for my character. That's great. And I know that they're working on all sorts of neat features. So be sure that you take a look at their site and their Kickstarter, because it is really quite something. So we've got a link in the chat for that. And we will go ahead and kick things off. When we last left our heroes, our protagonists, they had captured a ne'er-do-well on the docks, and Sobis had dragged him by the ankle all the way to justice. He did a couple of laps along the way, but I'm sure that it was just normal getting lost and not actually punitive in any way. When the gentleman was delivered to the palace for said justice, the notion was that the queens would hold an audience later on, as they were somewhat busy doing meetings and all the rest of it. So the slaver will be sitting in the jail cell for today, and will be brought to justice later on. So hopefully we'll see that. We do have, for those who forgot, we had Alma stay with the palace, with the princess, doing some camping inside. And I'm sure that she'll tell us all about that later. And so I did want to go ahead and cut away to one brief little scene here. Gloriosa and Lunez have a little bit for us, so I'm just going to go ahead and let them jump in here and let you guys go too.
Yeah, so it's late at night and everybody's asleep. The inn is all quiet and dark, the cross keys where they sit. So Gloriosa is having trouble sleeping, has woken up from maybe a couple nightmares, and knows who's awake. So she's going to go up to the roof and kind of peek in still in nightgown and dressing robe and stuff, and kind of holding something kind of against her chest, and kind of peek onto the roof. Lunas, are you up here?
Oh, hey, Gloriosa. Yes, I am here.
Hi.
Hi. Do you need something?
I was just having trouble sleeping. You know, spiders kind of get me, and we had those huge spiders, you know, a couple days ago. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind company.
Not at all. Come in. Come out.
Okay.
Lunas is just wearing his everyday clothes, except he's not wearing the overcoat, the green overcoat. He's just wearing the purple shirt and his pants on. Come in. I'm just, watching the stars, as always.
Yeah. So, I actually, I don't mean to disturb you. I have, the thing that might help you. So I brought your, she's gonna kind of hold out, I'm the star looker that you asked for.
My eyes
like
just go wide. And
so
then,
I'm gonna
go
hold
ahead.
out, it's like a brass almost, or like thin beaten brass, but like the hammer strokes, like Gloriosa kind of made it herself, and it's clear that she's not like a master smith or anything, so it's like got the beat marks on there that are kind of a little uneven, and then the telescope has been mounted with like little leather sockets for lenses that she made, so there's the objective lens and there's the aperture and stuff like that, and it doesn't like fold or anything, it's all one piece. So she's gonna hold it out and be like, here you go. And Robin, his thing that he does with his loot, I was messing around with that a little bit, and so if you just kind of shake it like this, and I'm gonna shake it and it'll like come to full size, and then if you just kind of shake it this way and I'm going to shake it the other way, it'll be small again. So, and then here's a little pouch for it. It can go next to your cookie pouch.
First of all, you would never disturb me. Thank you for being here. And also, you made this for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Gloriosa, this is wonderful. Thank you. And may I hug you?
Yeah.
I just give you a
yeah,
hug.
I would love a hug.
A big old hug.
Oh.
Thank you, Gloriosa.
Yeah. So do you mind if I like sit with you for a little while you maybe learn to use it? I just could use the company.
Of course. Sit down. Do you want a cookie?
Yes, I want a cookie.
Here's
Always.
a cookie. I got some tea too, if you want. It's not the one that has caffeine. I don't know if caffeine is the thing here, but this is some tea.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
Is that your first time seeing the spiders?
Well, they were really big, and they screamed a lot when they died and stuff. So.
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, well, in school we learned that we're not alone in this universe. I guess there's a lot of universes, as many as the stars right now, but there's a lot of creatures we don't know, and those creatures just well, they were pretty ugly. I tried to talk to them, but anyway, let's talk about something else, not spiders.
Yeah. Let's not talk about the spiders.
No. So, do you want to talk about something else like constellations?
Yeah. Let show me what on your chart, and I'm just gonna. That's probably gonna be for a while. It's gonna be probably a couple hours. Uh, Asking about what's this one? What's that one?
And Lunas is just explaining everything about constellations, and he's also looking at the star looker. He's just like seeing the moon and the stars. I don't know if we have moons here. We have moons, right? You're muted.
You have at least one moon.
At least one moon. That's good enough.
One.
So I'll just point at that, and then I'll use the star looker and point at a certain constellation and show it to Gloriosa. And here, take a look at this. This one is actually the Centaurus, and I'll just explain everything about it.
Thanks.
And I'll just say, whenever you feel the need to talk or something, I'll be here. I'll always be here for you, for all of you, and I'm just here for you.
Thanks, Lunas.
You're welcome, Gloriosa, and thank you for this. Oh my goodness, this is so. And that's well, I wake up.
Gloriosa, on your way back to bed, give me a perception check.
I rolled a 7.
Okay, so right back to bed, nothing the wiser. All right, so we will go ahead and start as we often do in the morning on the next day. The sounds and smells of breakfast wafting up the stairs of the Cross Keys. There is obviously a number of different meats, including a smell that sounds like maybe grouse or hen, something along those lines, which isn't often smelled in the Cross Keys, but something a little different. And as Sobis and Robin and Gloriosa and Lunez come down the stairs, they'll notice that their table already has an occupant.
Is it Alma?
It is.
I just run to her. Alma!
She's
And
back.
I just hug.
Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Oh my goodness, we had such an adventure, and I'll just start talking about everything.
Okay. Well, tell me everything that happened, and she's just gonna sit there and just listen and just like overwhelmed because he's a very extra, and she's only like a half a cup of her tea, and
Yep, that sounds about right.
very overwhelmed right now.
And there was this tavern and this people and this awesome orc that they didn't have an arm, and then she did.
The
And it
orc
was
was
so-
amazing. Yes, it was so cool.
And I'll just keep talking about all of that.
Whenever Lunez mentions Talia, Robin has to point out a very attractive cleric, mind you.
Yeah, I tried my best with Robin about that, Alma, but guess it didn't work.
What do you-
Trust me, I
what do you-
behaved. Trust me, I behaved, but I will note that some of you could take role-playing tips from Talia. A little better on the deception, if we could.
Want us to roleplay? Who does that?
Yeah, who
People
does that?
who don't want their identities known.
That's just weird.
This is too meta.
So when you said you didn't do anything, what did you do?
I didn't flirt. I didn't strike a bargain, and we didn't end up catching a slaver.
He did, and he did, and we did.
Yes, we did.
Okay, we're gonna fly right past the part where you were flirting with this chick. Slaver?
Oh, yes. Did I mention she was a damsel in distress?
I don't care about that. Slaver?
Yes, from a slaver. I'm getting to the point, doll.
She's gonna sip her tea and glare for just a second. Continue.
So, this slaver wants the cleric. However, we want to be heroes more. Isn't that right, Lunes?
Yes, we want to be heroes more.
And so our lovely Sobi brought the hurt down on quite a few of these ragamuffins. Which led us back to their boss, which led us to a score. You're welcome.
Yeah. So also, we are at some point supposed to go to the palace for stuff and things. And I'm looking over at Sobis and kind of trying to change the subject, but probably not very, well.
Yeah, if you're looking over at Sobis, like he obviously didn't get very much sleep, looks very tired and very not entirely present.
Sobis, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Now, you wouldn't lie to me, would you?
And she gives me that look, and she's giving me the look. It hurts. Yeah, I may have gone a little too hard on our captor. I have history with these people.
Too hard implies that they deserved less, my friend. If anything, you went easy on them. Trust me.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like if he didn't have any of that magic bullshit, I would have killed him.
Well, I know how you feel about that, but it's okay. These things are going to happen. So, we're all very proud of you.
Thanks.
You didn't kill him. Okay?
I tried.
And she's gonna smile at him. You did good.
He just gives like a half smile.
You did do good. You did good, Sobis.
But enough about our little escapades. Our lovely ice princess. How was meeting the princess? Sleepover details.
She's 12.
No. Excuse me. It's a palace. It is lush and lavish and oh my gods, where did you sleep?
In the floor of her room. Like she asked me to. I was there for the princess. And I did speak to Imari. It was a camp sleepover, okay? Nothing more. I didn't go exploring. Sorry to burst your bubble.
So
Sounds
much for how the other
wonderful.
half lives.
I'm sorry?
So much for finding out how the other half lives.
Robin, we've been adventuring now for how long?
3 years?
Mm-hmm.
3 years.
When have I ever cared? I was asked by the royals to sleep over with their daughter as a little inside camping adventure. So that was my priority.
So that's your story. You slept on the floor and kept the princess company. Did you only play nanny?
No. I did not.
Did she tell you any stories?
I have some updates
Oh,
on some things that
just lean closer.
they are very interesting and may even influence some of the things you and I do next, Lunes.
Oh,
So Ilmare was telling me about some stories that I never heard growing up. She's going to be digging into some of the archives back in Nibiru and sending us some information because out of game strike, I don't know how to kick this off with what we did.
Well, the captain of the guard mentioned that Alma had some unusual aspects to her character that aren't often seen among elves. And in fact, it is at about this time that Helwis drops off everyone's normal breakfast orders, and there is a small slip of paper with a small envelope with Alma's name written on it in a very precise but obviously unpracticed hand.
She's gonna open it.
Okay. Inside is a note from the princess thanking Alma for coming by and spending time and indulging her in all of this. It's very obviously the sort of thank you note that's written by a child at the behest of a parent standing over their shoulder, like, and now you're going to write them a thank you note because they sent you that nice gift. This is what it has to have in it. Okay, Mom. But inside, there's also a small scrap of paper that falls out, and unsigned, it says, the word for what you are is called Thalu Nabal, and I will put it into the Zoom chat so that you know how it's spelled.
Is this something that I would know from my parents?
This is a draconic word, so if you speak draconic, then this is a word that you will recognize. The closest direct translation, it doesn't have an exact common tongue translation, is that it is one born for fate. Not born with a fate or of the fates, but born for them specifically.
Okay. So she's going to tell the party that and just sit there with the piece of paper that has Thalu Nabal on it and just stare at it and just kind of like
Everything
forget
okay,
that
Alma?
anyone else exists for a second.
You okay, Alma?
Yeah, I think so. She's gonna set the piece of paper down on the table. This fell out of the note. It says Thalu Nabal on it.
I don't know what that means.
Is that some kind of a dance or gala? Are we invited to the Thaluna Ball?
She's not even going to react to Robin, and she's going to stare at the paper and just say,
Honest question.
It means one born for fate.
Does Sobus, being a Dragonborn, know the significance of that?
You probably recognize the term, and some of the subtlety of it is probably gotten by Sobus in that there are a lot of ways that somebody can be born of a fate. You know, two star-crossed lovers have a child; they're born of a fate, or something along those lines where fate drove a thing to happen. This is more like at the behest of fate. To steal from a political phrase, it's often said that someone serves at the pleasure of the president. The close translation of this would be serves at the pleasure of fate. almost like an agent of fate, more so than the consequences of fate.
Okay. Sobus will attempt to explain that in the best way that Sobus can. I imagine everyone is left more confused.
Just a tiny bit.
Almost gonna. Something Amare said last night makes me wonder. She said that when the gods play dice, sometimes elves of seasons make sure the dice settle.
I do like it when someone loads the die.
Where is Robin in relation to Alma right now?
We have a battle map up.
Oh, that's right.
Do I need to go to a battle map?
Robin is across the table next to Sobus. Thank you very much.
Strike, would you
Yes.
permit me to use Chill Touch on Robin?
I assume that she can reach across and tap him.
Little frost flick. Poof! I'll flick him right in the ear.
It is a very cold flick, to be sure.
Well,
Not any damage, but definitely chilly.
missed you too, dearie. Missed you too.
This is a little more serious than I think you're giving it credit for at this particular junction, Robin.
Okay, and we will see where it goes, but when we're talking about gods playing dice, you know how I like to cheat the gods.
I do. But think about it for a second. This note, what Amare said, and a possible new constellation. She's gonna look at Lunas.
Constellation.
Have you seen it again? Have you seen any changes to it?
I have seen it all the time. And in fact, last night, when I was talking to Gloriosa, I saw it again. And it's like I'm having like a tiny bit of a headache every time I see it.
We're gonna have to go to the academy.
Is this something Professor Archibald or somebody at the academy would know?
It's possible. I don't know what it means. This is all of it's just too out there to even, I think, come to a good conclusion on what the hell is going on.
Your
Yeah.
constellation gives you a headache, Lunas?
Yes, just
Oh.
a tiny bit of a headache. It's not like a big headache. It's more like a punching headache, like a ding, 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 but it's right there. I don't know what it means.
Maybe we should do that today.
Yes, but I do want to do something. I'm just Nunes is just looking at Sobis right now, and I do want to do something first.
Sure, I'm not talking about, we don't have to leave like right this second, but
Oh, okay.
it's something that we should look into. Cause yes, I don't believe in coincidences, and this is way too much going on at one time.
Of course.
And
No.
by all means, don't take me wrong, Alma. If the fates are on the move, I want to get in that wake.
Well, I would certainly hope that you would join us.
Wouldn't be anywhere else, love.
She will smile a genuine smile at Robin.
Lunas is just gonna pull out the Star Looker and look at what Alma made. Alma. Look at what Gloriosa made for me.
I was like, what did I
Sorry.
make?
Sorry.
What I do? Who are you presenting that to? Just the table?
Yeah, just putting it on the table.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Well, you asked for it. You just asked for it.
What is it?
It's a Star Looker. So every night I can see the stars closer with it, and it's look at it, and I'll just tap it and I'll make it bigger. Look how big it is. It's bigger than myself. Almost.
How big is it in relation to Sobis?
Probably about
Is it like a carrot?
maybe half the size of Sobis. It's a big telescope.
It's half the size of Sobis? God. All right. Sobis will reach for it,
Careful, Sobis.
and then we'll look through it. What do I see?
Depending on where you point it at, probably walls.
He's pointing it right at Luna's and like, oh, I see your face
Just
now.
slew.
Yeah, it's just zoomed in on like just an eye.
I see into your soul.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I just had some time and
It's a pretty big deal. It's amazing, and thank you, Gloria. Sam.
It's a very fair-sized deal, Glory.
You're welcome, Lunas.
I hand it very carefully back to Lunas.
And I'll just put it back to the normal size.
Very impressive, Morning Glory. But stealing my whole vibe, are we? With the shrinking and growing apparatus.
Who helped you figure that out?
Oh, of course it was you, but I'm a little jealous you upped your game for Lunas here.
Make me want to.
Robin, I thought you made that trick up. You told me you made that up.
It was a collaborative effort, Sobi. Collaborative effort. All jokes aside.
You know,
Very happy.
because when we first met, he told me he's a grower, not a shower, and I thought that was
Different context, different conversation.
Oh.
Sobi, we're gonna be good. It's
Oh,
gonna
right.
be fine. We're gonna be all fine.
Did I say
Different
something weird?
conversation. No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That
I'm
was
just gonna-
camping talk.
Take a very long drink of my breakfast wine. Just a very large drink of my breakfast wine. There are things we don't want to know, Sobis.
What-
Sobis, remember that conversation we had about camping talk and
Yeah.
table talk? That's camping. Where are you now?
Oh, we're at a table.
Very good, sir. Very good. And Robin reaches up and gives him just a pat on the snout. Very good. Very good.
His huge tail
And it-
wags a little bit.
Oh.
Robin leans back to the table and looks around. Oh, it is true.
Lunas is just.
So, how about that water arm that we saw was pretty neat. I want to learn how to do that magic.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I've never seen that before, and I love that, and I would love to learn that.
I would like to get to know her better.
Yeah, she seemed pretty cool.
Wouldn't we all, Sobi?
Yeah.
Why
However-
does it sound so innocent coming from Sobis, but yet so dirty coming from you?
What can I say, love? We are two sides of the same coin, Sobis and I, and the coin is just shiny on one side.
Oh my goodness. Can I go with you to talk to your you talking to Lunas and Alma? Can I go with you to go talk to your
Teachers, professor.
teacher? Yeah.
Yes, of course. And I'll just say before that, did we have a long rest though?
Yes.
Okay.
You got a long rest last night.
Okay. And I'll just turn to Sobis. Sobis,
Yeah.
would you like to go with me to the pie shop?
To the pie shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be back later. I'll just go to the
All right.
pie.
And then they waddled away.
Waddle, waddle.
Well, all right then.
Robin sits back, grabs his coffee like he does. So then, plans for the day. Seems like we have an academy to visit. And seems like the royals have things in hand. So, which stop is first?
Well, the academy, we need to wait for Lunas to get back.
Of course, of course.
So, I'm not sure.
Why do I feel like there's more about the royals than you're saying, dearie?
Amari and I talked for a very long time last night. And what she said intrigued, confused, and just baffled everything that I know to be true. I feel a trip to Naviri is going to be in order soon. But I had a dream last night that felt more like an omen than anything else.
I mean, sometimes dreams feel really real, especially if they're about something that you don't like. And it's important to remember that they're not real and they can't hurt you.
No, they're not real, but the feelings might be. So do share.
The academy gets destroyed.
This Magic Academy? Could you be confusing it with the old one? I mean, not like in how it looks, but like in your head, thinking about maybe what happened to the old one.
No.
Permission to make an insight check?
Sure.
It's a 10.
Alma seems very certain about what she's saying. There's no doubt that she's got there. The accuracy of the information aside, she's certain of what she's saying.
Well, if you're that worried about the academy, then certainly we'll all be with you when we go.
It's not just the academy. It's how it was destroyed.
Oh?
It's like it's like the gods decided that it needed to go away.
Well, you know how I feel about giving gods the final say. We'll check in and see what we can do about that.
So, like I said, all too much going on at the same time with too much coincidence makes me uneasy.
Of course. Glory, did we get put on the docket for our reward?
Which one?
The slaver, darling.
Oh, yes. They'll send a summons when they're ready. So we're waiting on their word.
Fantastic. So looks like a trip to the palace is not imminent, I suppose, and we could just make sure that we're ready by the time big and small return and be on our merry way to the academy.
Yes. There are things that I do need to update Amari on, so that, yeah, we need to put the palace after the academy if that works for you guys.
At your good pleasure, dear.
She nods, and she's just gonna zone off drinking her coffee and her tea and just think.
I kind of want to go talk to my dad about if there's anything culturally significant about what oh my god, like, since I have an elven parent.
Out of play, where does Gloriosa's family live? Is it in the same district as the pie shop?
Could be Merchant District.
Yeah, very likely, at least very nearby.
Yeah.
Oh, very well. Well, if you're going to go visit dear old dad, then why don't we just trot along behind our companions, meet them at the pie shop? I can say hi to Lucy, and we'll be on our way.
Sounds like a plan. You're not coming to meet my parents again, right? Because no.
Oh, Glory, we're not there yet.
Okay. All right.
And so we all make our
All right.
preparations. We're going to head to the same district so Glory can talk to her father, and we'll surprise Sobus and Lunes as soon as their business is done at the Upper Cross.
All right, sounds good. We will go ahead and cut across there as you guys are, 10, 15 minutes behind. And Lunez and Sobus will make their way to the pie shop. It smells absolutely delicious. They do both savory and sweet breakfast foods in the morning. So they've got, eggs and sausage and bacon pies. They have sweet, like a cinnamon roll pie that has icing both on the inside and the outside. More of a glaze on the outside, so it's a little harder, and then a softer glaze on the inside for the icing, as well as a fairly standard set of fruit pies and that sort of thing that is always there.
So I'll just get in and come at something. Sobis. Hey Lucy, hello. And I'll just say, can I get a big old goodberry pie? And I don't know what you want, Sobis.
Whatever you got.
Well, we've got just about everything. We've got some breakfast meat with cheese and egg. We've got more sweet things. What you feeling like, Sobus?
Give me a breakfast pie. That'd be good.
She'll slide aside almost a little bit larger than average. It looks like this one just happened to come out a little bigger, with eggs, cheese, sausage, bacon, and just a little bit of salt and spice to it.
I will open up my huge Dragonborn jaw and just...
Are there tables here, like a sit-down restaurant thing, kind of thing?
Yes, there are tables as well as it's a largely sort of takeout, like go up to the counter, grab your pie and go sort of thing. But they do have a smattering of tables that are sort of set around so that people can eat and talk. There are very few that seat more than maybe 6 or 7 people, but there are a lot of like, here's a 2-person table all over the place.
Yeah, we'll just pick a 2-person table that it's far away from anybody. I guess this is not the busiest of times, so we'll take one of the corner ones.
Yeah, most folks in the morning will grab theirs to go on their way to work or whatever else they're doing over the course of the day. There's not a lot of sit-in dining during the mornings. So yeah, there's easily a smaller corner table that you can find and sit.
So, okay. So while we're eating our pies, breakfast pie sounds delightful right now. But so is
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about the big owlbear in the room.
Sobus looks around. I don't see an owlbear.
There's an owlbear?
What? I'm confused.
Oh, Big Albert. Oh, that's a saying.
Oh, right.
Uh, so I saw your eyes the other day at the tavern when we were fighting that person,
Yeah.
and
So it's just he noticeably just like he's ashamed. His body
uh,
language says I'm ashamed.
I actually got scared seeing you, but not scared of you. I was scared about what you were feeling. I saw pain in your eyes, Sovis.
Yeah. Well, me and these people, we go way back. Before I met Robin, I was.
Sovis, you
Oh,
don't need to talk to me about that
all right.
if you want, if you don't want. But I'll just say that I love you, Sovis. You are my friend. You are my family. I don't ever want to see you in pain again. And I know this is personal. You don't need to share that story with me. But I want you to know that I'm here for you always. I might not be a druid who has their feet on the ground. My head is up in the stars. But I will make that malice in your heart become a seed, and I'll just take a seed, and in turn, it will turn into a flower. And I'm gonna use Druidcraft, and I don't need anything for this. I don't need my goggles don't seem to be lighting up or anything, but the seed turns into a rainbow flower, which kind of looks like a constellation flower in real life. And this will make I will make that malice turn into a flower and bloom out of love. I love you, my brother, and I just hand that to you, Sovis. And I'll just say I will always be there for you.
I've been thinking a lot about it, and I feel like I owe everyone an explanation. That's a part of me that I don't like showing, and I showed it. And I feel like I love you all too. He says in the most uncomfortable tone. And I feel like I should explain, but I don't know how.
You don't. mm, Well, I mean, you can just say what's in your mind. We we, we just care for you,
Yeah.
Sovis. I and honestly, I never would like to see you in pain again.
Yeah.
And I will reach for your hand and just say, "May I touch your hand?
Yeah.
May I
Yeah.
hold your hand?" I'll
Yeah.
just I'll just hold your hand, big old hand. Yes, I will always be there for you, no matter what. You can count on us.
Thanks, Lunas. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
That do point of order. Do Dragonborn have tear ducts?
Sure.
All right.
I've seen pictures of them with considerably more mammalian features than tear ducts, so we're gonna go with yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So is his eyes. They're twinkly. They're glistening a little bit.
Aw. Another bite, please.
The waitstaff will come by with another set of pies, one smaller, one larger.
I'll take the larger one. No, just kidding.
Sobus is noticeably offended. And I
But
think.
if you,
Continue.
go ahead.
Continue.
I'll just say that if you ever want to talk, you know where to find me. I'm pretty much always on the roof, but I'm here for you.
Yeah, I think once we're all back together again, I'm gonna sit everyone down and because I don't want to tell this story more than once.
Okay, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I'll just continue eating my pie, my good berry pie.
Oh.
All right, and about this time, the rest of the group will be able to reach the pie shop. The smells are just as delicious as they were a few minutes ago, and people are steadily moving in and out of the building, going through.
All right, here we are. So, Glory, are we going to visit Daddy right away, or do we have a moment for our favorite Genasi?
We can stop by and see Donner.
I'm sure he'd love it. So, Robin opens the pie shop door. After you, ladies.
Exploitative, and it's probably not the greatest thing to do to him, but I'm gonna do it because I'm spend too much time with you, Robin.
I knew you were warming up. So we all will walk in, close the door behind us. Robin scans the room for Lunas and Sobus and sees them basically in which direction am I looking?
At the corner of the room.
They're basically right inside the corner as you walk into the pie shop in sort of the back right corner there.
All right. Robin, just after letting the ladies in, strides right over. Notices they're both kind of eating in silence. And
Linus has all good berry all over his face. Oh, hello, friends.
Hello. Are we enjoying our brunch, gentlemen?
It is pretty good. Would you like some?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm full at the moment. However, Robin is scanning the room, looking for Lucinda.
Lucinda is currently running stuff back and forth between the kitchen and the front, as there's not nearly as much need for actual table service during the morning. She's mostly bringing up and, here's the next order, here you go, sort of thing. She does catch sight of Robin and pauses as she's hauling a tray of pies and gives Robin this look like, I don't know why you're here, but I'm sure I'm going to find out in a minute. Sets the tray aside and walks over to you. I'm assuming you're not here for breakfast.
It depends on what the specials are this morning, but you look stressed, dear. Could you use a hand? Maybe
it's
two?
breakfast rush. Depends on where you're putting those hands.
Trust me, doll. You'll get a rush from these hands. But perhaps not at the moment. Wouldn't want to get you in trouble with the boss. So, let's see. What have you heard about the town? You know you're my ears here.
Anything in particular you're trying to find out about? There's been a lot of talk with the delegations here, and apparently the thrice-blooded scourge was on the docks the other day.
Oh, good.
You wouldn't know anything about that, now would you?
I may have borne witness to the vision that is the thrice-blooded scourge. Tell me, what else came from that story? What do people know of the sighting?
There was a tussle at a dockside bar. and somebody got dragged back to the palace, as literally as I can possibly say that. But
Very well.
most folks were paying attention to the pirate with the water arm.
She was distracting. Lucy, do me a favor, if you would. Hear anything about kidnappings? Hear anything about slave trade? Let me know as soon as you can.
She sort of looks aside for a minute and looks back. You're going to get in over your head if you dig too deep into this. You know that, right?
Let's say I have stakes in this game already.
It's not the best kept secret that that sort of thing happens. And as long as everybody keeps it on the down low, for the most part, it's not worth breaking up. Most of it happens outside the city. There's not a whole lot of policing out there. It's not a thing. This is the first time that anybody's been dumb enough to be in the city and get caught doing it. Why? Nobody's sure. The guy that got caught was apparently a regular through town for years, and nobody had the faintest idea he was a part of it. So how he managed to rope into something where he gets caught that obviously, no one knows. It seems unlikely at best. But he's far from the only one. Most of them know to keep their heads down and keep it out of the city, because God's help him if the queens catch them.
Who was he
Do me a
caught?
favor.
Oh, sorry.
One more favor then. And he pulls a silver out of his pocket, if I could ask for such a favor. If you hear anything, could you let any interested parties know that there is a buyer, Thomas Brass, that would like information? And any information you find, let me know and I'll take it back to Thomas.
All right. I will do this because I know you and I know that you are up to something. But I am begging you, Robin, be careful. The people that get involved with this sort of thing are not the sort to be trifled with.
Oh, no one's trifling. I'm thinking more of a 4-course meal of pain on these individuals. No desserts.
Just be careful.
They may have an army of thugs, but I have a Sobus. So, just the information, sweetheart. I'm not promising that I'm going charging into battle. Don't worry your little head over me. I'll still come back. Just the information is all I need.
All right, I'll keep an ear out.
Thank you. Remember, Thomas Brass, looking to buy.
Yep.
Is there any information about who he had caught? Like, the guy who was caught, who was he after?
The word on the street that I heard was that he was after some pretty little elf maid. I don't know why. And honestly, it's why men shouldn't go into business in general.
Frankly, it sounds like escalation.
Could be.
I don't understand why an elf maid would be worth risking coming into the town.
No one can figure that out. No one is that pretty. Nobody.
No.
Robin casts a message to Gloriosa. This was retaliation, remember? Talia was a wrench in the works.
Well, I won't disturb you with it more, Lucinda. Thank you Thank you for indulging us. I'm gonna slip a coin to her of the appropriate value. I don't know, gold, silver, platinum, rubies, whatever we need to smooth over her good graces.
A ruby
Yeah,
coin would be
a
pretty
silver
cool.
piece is just fine. That's well more in excess of what she generally gets in tips as far as that goes.
Gonna totally clumsily like sleight of hand it and pretend Robin doesn't see it.
I'm just gonna leave a cookie. Slide a cookie over it.
All right. She smiles genuinely at Lunez and nods in Gloriosa's direction, and then heads back behind the counter to grab the now empty tray and heads back into the kitchen area.
Robin, I don't think Donner's gonna know more than that. We don't have to involve him.
Oh, don't get cold feet now. You know he'll warm them up for you.
Oh my god.
Onwards to the school.
Glory, did you have a stop to make?
I do. You're not coming.
Of course, I can stay put.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go do that. And I'll be back. I'll meet you at the school.
Are you going alone?
What?
Are you going alone, Clarissa?
Yeah, I mean, it's just to my parents. It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in this neighborhood. It's perfectly safe.
Robin casts message one more time at Gloriosa as she walks out the door so that the rest don't hear. And Robin says to her, "Be careful, Glory, but remember, he doesn't own you. You don't need his approval."
There's just sort of a rushed like thanks back.
So are we going to the school now?
I believe so. Robin?
Sounds good to me. I'm the tag-along today. By all means, we're just happy to have you back, Alma.
Aww.
That is very true. And I'll just reach for Alma's hand.
Where we going?
We need to go to the academy. Would you like to come?
Is that the place with the books?
It's the place with the books. It's the place where I went to school and where Lunez went to school.
Yeah.
That's where Alma and I met.
He just like a defeated, like, okay, mom and dad are going, I'll come.
Don't worry, Sobi. They have a yard and a fountain. It'll be fun.
It's boring, but I'll come.
Well, I need to update you and Lunez on what I told the group after you guys left anyway. So
yeah, all right.
Make it a little more interesting for you. So as they're walking, she will tell them the parts that they missed.
A walk and talk, yeah.
And what did we miss again? You had a vision, that whole thing.
Yeah, the dream that that the academy was destroyed by a god.
Got it.
No big deal.
Just one of those things. Like,
yeah, like
God
you
has
do.
decided that God has decided that the academy is worth destroying. So
Yeah.
As they do.
As they do.
All right. The Academy of the Arcane Arts, or A3, A cubed, any number of nerdy nicknames for it, is a complex of buildings in Dawn's Harbor. The primary building is the Great Tower, which is mostly what folks think of as the Academy itself. But there are a number of other smaller buildings sort of grouped around a big open quad that is grassy and fairly pleasant pretty much year round. It's kept warmed during the winter. and is often where you'll find students sitting out, studying, practicing as safely as they possibly can. And the other buildings themselves are the same sorts of things you'd see on a lot of college campuses. There's an archives building, which is several floors, that is the primary library and storehouse of information. There is uh, a building for the study of the kinetic arts, which is the fancy name for a gymnasium, uh, where all sorts of movement magics are researched and that sort of thing, so that you can practice, Misty Step and Dimension Door and that sort of thing, as well as Eldritch Knights and Arcane Tricksters doing their thing over there. The academy is always buzzing with students, and because this is a magical academy, those students range from relatively young, the sorts that are innate casters like sorcerers that came into their magic early, all the way up through those who have been studying for hundreds of years. This is the only real magical academy on the continent. The elves exclusively teach one-on-one and will not hold any sort of classes or anything of that sort. And the dwarves of Lumia don't look down on magic. It's too useful to look down on, but it's not something that they view the advancement of as being very necessary. There's plenty of magic around that they can use. They really don't need new stuff. And every now and again, the Academy in Dawn's Harbor will come out with something new. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, that's why we're not early adopters. Are you guys headed for your old professor? Are you headed to the archives? Where are you going to look?
I think going to the professor would be wise initially. And then, Lunas, if we need any more answers, we can head up to archives.
Of course.
Sobis is going to entertain himself outside.
She's going to turn around. Sobis,
Yeah,
try not to break anything, okay?
I will do my best.
Not that we can't fix it, but it'd be a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just leave the cookie bag with Sovis. And I only do that with Alma, so doing that with Sovis.
I'm sorry, say that one more time? Just...
I'm leaving the cookie bag with Sovis.
Okay, I was just making sure. Just
Yes.
for the record, Sobis has the cookie bag.
For now. Yes, you do.
Don't eat the cookie bag.
Folds into another dimension.
No.
Yeah, anyways.
Find the professor.
All right. The professor is actually in the archives building at the moment, as opposed to in the main tower. So it's a little easier to find him, as the archives are only about 4 stories tall. The tower itself is easily 15 or 20 stories. It's somewhat tough to tell as you get closer to it. It is not the kind of tower that is dread and imposing, but it's very much a notable feature in the city as how big it is and the degree to which it sort of looks out over the city. But it has always felt like a guardian or a watcher, as opposed to some sort of overlord or something along those lines that are just, kind of intimidating there. The archives themselves on the first floor are mainly a couple of small study rooms and offices, uh, the main circulation table, and then the stairs up to the archives themselves. And as everyone sort of makes their way into the archives, the stone floors are checked in black and gray, and the whole of the hall is lit with continual flame torches and each doorway, as there are 3 entrances into the archives, has some magical orbs of light in the 3 colors of the 3 different major powers on the continent: red for Dawn's Harbor, blue for Lumia, and green for Nibiru. When you reach the circulation desk, there is a older human male, probably 50s or 60s, who is making a copy of a book on the table, and he looks up and smiles at all of you as you enter in. Can we help you find someone or something?
Hello, we're here to find Professor Archibald.
Oh, he's actually just in the office just over to the south there, and he points over to his left. I don't think the door is closed, so I think as long as you knock, you should be fine.
Excellent. And I just tried to reach for a cookie, and oh, that's right. I remember that I left the cookie back with Sobis. Thank you.
All right.
We'll walk up and we'll softly rap at the door before we enter.
The itself is about 35 by 35. It's well appointed with a plush blue rug, a basin of water that is sort of magically circulating for washing hands and refreshing oneself, table, chairs, and they're piled onto it. And Professor Archibald is sitting at one end of the table and sort of flipping through the tomes on there, occasionally licking a feather and moving the pages. And beside him is a young dwarven boy, probably pre-teens human equivalents. And that the young boy sort of grabs a lot of books and is sort of ferrying them back and forth. He's got reddish blonde hair, no beard yet as he's too young, and big wide lenses of glasses. And the professor will look up and smile at Alma and Lunez. Well, it's been some time since you two have been here.
How are you doing, Professor?
Hello, Professor.
I am doing rather well. Been working on my studies and that sort of thing. How have you two been doing?
We've been pretty well. We have some new friends, and she's going to introduce. This is
Robin Wayfair at your service, and you are
Professor Archibald, and he sort of holds out his wing and will nod and shake and smiles.
And this is Gloriosa. Oh no, Gloriosa's not here. Never mind, this is not Gloriosa.
Robin likes to introduce himself, Professor, so.
Oh, I normally get to do the introductions. You see, we're part of an adventuring party. We call ourselves 5 Point Strike. So if you ever need any of our services, he pulls out just a small, like, a miniature scroll from his jacket pocket. And you said he's sitting at his desk at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and just slides it onto his desk. If you ever need anyone for investigation, intimidation, prestidigitation, and of course, very wonderful presentations, be sure to let us know. But I'm sorry, that's not what we're here for. I'll let the intellectuals chat.
You first, Alma.
I've never known you to come and looking for information lightly. What is it that you're looking for?
Lunas, will you show him?
Okay. And I'll just take out the constellation chart and show him the new one.
He picks it up and is looking over the chart and sort of runs a finger over everything. Lunas, you've got an extra one in here.
Yes, Professor. I started seeing that, and I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel different seeing it. And it's a new group of stars, and I know that this one is the one that shines the most. And every time I see it, it's like I get like a tiny bit of a headache, if you will.
Interesting. He turns to the young boy that's his assistant. Go and get me the treatise by the Dread Bowyer. He was writing about constellations that had appeared and disappeared. And I wonder if he might have something about that in here. And the boy sort of runs off to go and get something.
Lunas, how many nights ago did this show up?
2 nights ago, right? It was,
Mhm.
Yeah, 2 nights ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago.
Professor, is there anything going on that we are missing that would have caused this to pop up 2 days ago?
Well, magical energies have been considerably more in flux of late. There are a few that are trying to study to see if there's a particular reason for it, or if it's just regular variances, time of year, that sort of thing. But if a new constellation has appeared, and Lunas, I have never known you to be off on such things, so if you say that there is a new one, then I believe you. Then it may be more than that.
What could this mean?
Well, generally such things herald moments of importance in the world. There are all sorts of stories from just about every possible group and culture in the world about stars and even full constellations appearing at moments of great import. That said, with the possible exception of a royal betrothal, I can't think of anything having happened recently that is so notable, but perhaps there's more going on than I realize.
Professor, have you had the pleasure to meet Elmare?
The captain of the guard? Yes, she's been by.
I know that she's reaching out to the archives in Nibiri. I had some time to sit with her last night. And she said something that was interesting.
Oh?
About elves of seasons making sure that dice settle and gods playing dice. Have you heard of this before?
He pauses for a moment and is starting to think when the young boy runs back in with a big black book that is almost carved into a pyramid-like shape. The top page is very tiny and getting larger and larger as it gets down to the base. And inscribed along the edges of the book are the Treaties of Stars by the Dread Bowyer. And the professor ticks down about 3/4 of the way through the book and tilts it open.
I just looked at it curiously, like.
Do we notice anything passively that we pick up on before the professor does?
Give me perception. Everybody who's in the room is more than happy. I'm more than happy to take a perception check from you.
Robin's very out of his element. He, let me add my bonus on perception. He rolled a 7. Yeah, very much out of his element.
Yeah.
My screen is so small right now. I can't see it. I'm sorry.
I got a 9, so
There it is.
damn.
I got a 20.
All right.
Is that a nat or a dirty 20?
Dirty 20.
Nice.
All right. So as the professor is flipping through the pages, Alma, you recognize that the section that he's reading about is talking about confluences of fates and moments in which many strands and many pieces of the puzzle and the tapestry sort of all come together at once, and have a propensity to either be tangled or cut in large amounts or otherwise fit into that pattern. You said when the gods play dice.
Yeah.
Well, it is possible that she means that when the fates all come together like this, and he starts pointing at the book, it often signals that there's a coming tangling of threads, that there's much happening that will weigh upon the future heavily.
I got a note as well
A note?
that I can only imagine was somebody in the palace, possibly Amare, that had Thalunamal written on it.
He sort of starts at the word. That's not a term that gets used very often. They were almost thought of as myths by now. May I see the note?
Should pull it out of our side pouch.
He takes the piece of paper and looks at it. This definitely ties together, I think. Your constellation, Lunez, I think, is bringing us more news than I might have given it initial credit for. And Alma, if this is accurate and what the elves say, it may be that the elves of the seasons are more tied to the whims of fate than most. I think there may be more information in another book, but we'll have to go up there in person to get it. They don't allow students access to that part of the archives. So if you all have a few, we can certainly go up there and take a look.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Special tour of the archives. Can't turn it down.
Yes, this is the area strictly for professors and senior researchers. Most of these books don't have other copies for a number of reasons. Some of them are magically trapped, and if they were to be copied, the books would burn. Some of them are in languages that are only barely understood, and transcribing them might add to errors in the future. A number of reasons why these particular texts don't simply have extra copies available to people. But obviously, with you all as my guests, we can certainly go and take a look. So why don't we head upstairs and we can see what we can find, and we can do that after our break.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Yay! The plot thickens.
The plot thickens.
And so does Sobus as he chomps infinite cookies.
Hey, you're gonna have to wait until after this scene to figure out what Sobus has been up to.
I know. I just have so many predictions and so many images in my head of Sobus in the infinite cookie bag.
I'm gonna let your imagination run wild for this whole break.
Gloriosa is gonna come up afterward and be like,
Right.
What happened?
"Did you eat Lunans?"
All right,
No.
it is 12:25. Why don't we aim to be back by 12:40? So 15 minutes, and we will see you all back here soon.
Very good.
Love it. See you guys in a minute. Oh, ha, ha, ha. We should be good now. I'm a dummy.
Yep,
Yep,
we're
we
good
are.
now.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. Nate's just an idiot. It's fine. New software.
So pretty.
New software. Who dis? We're really back now.
Okay, welcome back, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It wouldn't be
not
a
an
professional
idiot, Nate,
stream
we love
without
you.
some kind of technical issue. That's the rule on Twitch.
We love you, Nate.
Thanks.
Sobus took a few
Love you,
took a
Nate.
few hits to the head, and it took us a moment to get
Yeah.
back in here, but we're back.
My
I
intelligence.
hope everybody had a good break.
Nate's intelligence is actually the same as Sobus's intelligence. So, just picture
I
Sobus
don't
trying
think
to.
That's quite accurate.
Just
but-
picture Sobus trying to work a sound mixer. Yeah.
That's a lie.
All right. Well, and there is that quiz in the Chaos Lane Discord that's telling you what your actual stats are, like your real life person stats.
Oh man.
I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it's there. All right. So when we left off just before break, for those who are just catching up with us, the party had reunited after a couple of adventures independently of each other, and discovered that there was some information that probably needed to be dug into at the academy. Lunez and Alma went to go and see their old professor, Professor Archibald, and after reading through some old books and finding some information, it looks like he's pulled up a bit of information and is hoping to bring the rest of the party up to the restricted archives section on the second floor of the archives building, and that will have that information for them. The group goes to head to the and exits the office where they have been meeting with Professor Archibald, at which point Gloriosa happens to be entering the archives, having just passed the quad where she witnessed Sobus out with several of the students practicing some of their combat magics, using Sobus as the target. He, for what it is worth, he does obviously seem to be voluntarily doing this. They haven't, charmed person or anything like that in order to be beaming him with magic missiles and the like. But nevertheless, there is quite a bit of Sobus roaring in anger and students at least somewhat giddy at the notion of, running around and trying to tag this person with a chill touch, so on and so forth. But there's also just enough of actual legitimate fear of, if I hit him too hard, is he going to punch me? And am I going to get up afterwards?
That's adorable.
And he's got the bag in one arm and is just like
I'm gonna Gloriosa is gonna come in and just kind of whisper to Lunez and Robin, you left Sobus with the cookie bag unsupervised?
Probably fine. They're right.
Robin looks at Lunez and, you did what?
You didn't notice that?
I was trying to get a view of the campus. Lunez, you did what?
They're cookies. They're magical cookies. Nothing bad's gonna happen to them.
And he's a Dragonborn prize fighter. You gave dessert to a strictly dieted.
Again, they're magical cookies. They're not actual. I guess they're not really. They don't have any sugar on them. They're nothing.
Are the
it's
cookies
magical.
a lie?
They're not a lie. They're
Are
actual
you-
cookies, but magical
They are-
cookies.
They're not real, but are they not real cookies?
They are.
Cookies have sugar, Lunez.
This is magical sugar.
Anyway, we might not want to leave Sobis for too long. down
You
there
know
by
what?
himself.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
By all means, you lovely people, tour the magic library. I need to check on my dragon. And Robin
Yeah.
quickly exits to pursue a dragonborn.
Yeah.
We're probably just gonna stay with Professor Archibald.
I'm gonna tag along with them and just kind of wave to Robin.
Oh yeah, the two of them in the courtyard, unsupervised. What could go wrong?
Oh, do you want me to go? Do you want
No,
me
no,
to
no,
go?
no, no.
No,
Okay,
you can say.
alright. No, I
No.
can. Okay.
If anything, some of the students can use a chill touch on Robin.
I mean, they were keeping him mostly corralled. Like it was. I'm sure it's fine.
They're probably fine. You know.
Sure. Let's just make this quick then.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Gloriosa. To the professor.
The professor extends his hand and shakes Gloriosa's and smiles. I think my students have mentioned you before. You are the talented craftswoman, yes?
Yes, Professor. She actually. Anyway, let me introduce. This is Gloriosa, the most awesome creator of things ever.
Well, that's quite an
Hi.
introduction from one of my prize students.
I obviously flustered. Gloriosa is not sure what to say and just well, I really Lunas is a friend and I just wanted to hi.
She
Well-
actually made this, and I showed her the Starlooker thing.
He takes the telescope and starts to look through. How did you get the lenses ground so finely? This is really excellent work.
Magic and glassworking tools.
You have quite a bit of skill. This is impressive. Did it take very long to craft?
Kind of glancing at Luna's and like a couple days, few hours.
I wonder, do you take commissions, Gloriosa?
Well, Robin would kill me if I said no. So, yes, yes, I do. Now,
Because I must admit, I would love to have such a device myself. Would 10 gold pieces cover your costs for it? Wonderful. And he'll reach into a pouch and starts counting out some coins. And you notice that, well, most of them are Dawn's Harbor coins, not all of them are. There are 2 from Nabiri and 1 from the Chancel just in this stack. And he sort of holds it out. Whenever you manage to finish it, if you can have it delivered here, I would be much appreciated.
do you want brass? Do you want?
Oh,
Yeah.
the outer casing doesn't matter. As long as the lenses are ground with this level of specificity, it will do more than well.
I will get it to you as soon as I can.
She just got a job.
And with that, the professor will walk up the stairs onto the second floor. And the second floor is almost entirely walled off. There's a circulation desk where there are 3 individuals who are sitting there, and there's a large ledger where people can write the name of the text or the subject that they're looking for, and then one of the archivists will go search for information and bring it out to them. And there are a few desks and tables where people can sit and study those works without actually leaving the archives. There's also a double wooden door, which is emblazoned in Draconic, Elven, Dwarven, Common, Goblin, and Orc. No admittance save for Academy staff. The professor simply strides toward the door without a care in the world and touches the door, and after a moment the door swings open for him and he waves everyone inside. The three archivists that are sitting at the table go a little wide-eyed at the three of you that are entering the archives with the professor, but don't say anything.
I just glide over, like, haha, you can't enter here.
Almost just looking around, just taking everything in.
Inside the archives themselves, there are bookshelves floor to ceiling at about a 15-foot high ceiling on this floor. And there are books, there are scrolls. There's one section that you can easily see are literally made of tablets that have been laid into the shelves. All of them are labeled with a very neat hand in Draconic, noting subject and location from where it is. And there is a huge book that sits on a pedestal in the center of that room that, in theory, lists where all of the books are based on subject and where they come from in the world and that sort of thing. The professor flips through it a bit, notes down something, and then leads you to one of the far walls. This floor is entirely lit with the continual flame torches. There are no windows on the second floor because the natural sunlight might harm some of the texts. And so it's very much temperature controlled, moisture controlled, light controlled, so that there's no possible risk. And in this back corner, there's another, like a gate that you might see at a bar that blocks the back of the bar from everyone else. But again, the professor touches his hand onto it before it swings open. And as you step into this smaller section of the archives, there's a feeling of a weight of history that comes on it. A lot of the books that you can see here are obviously older. There's a lot of damaged books in this section that are partially burned or torn, that are placed very carefully on shelves. And there's also a wash of not quite fear, but trepidation as you go in, that some of these books feel unsafe in a way that it is rare for books specifically to feel. The professor walks past one of the shelves. Try not to touch any of the ones on this bookcase. They're most of the cursed texts. They shouldn't affect you just touching the spines of the books and whatnot. Reading them will almost certainly do something, though. And there are a couple, we haven't quite fully identified all of them, but there are a couple that if you think too hard about what might be in the book, the curse will link to you. Most of these are normally about the sorts of things that you find in the other planes, denizens of down below and up above and that sort of thing. Interestingly, many of the celestial tomes are more heavily cursed than the infernal ones. I've always found that kind of intriguing. But I guess everyone keeps secrets differently. At any rate, this bookshelf, and he points to one that is only about half the height of the building, so, or this floor rather. So it's only about 6 or 7 feet tall. So what you would think of as a standard bookshelf in one of our homes, for instance. And on it are a number of tomes, but he pulls out a scroll from a small pile and starts to unfurl it. This section is dedicated to fate. There are a lot of prophecies on these shelves. Some of them have dread warnings of futures and so on and so forth. That bottom shelf there is all transcriptions of people's potentially prophetic dreams, just in case they might come true later. So we've got a record of it. This shelf here is all of the records of people who wound up going and completing a prophecy without having realized it. But I think this scroll is what we're looking for, because this is the one that has to do with the stars and the fates. And he'll unfurl this scroll, and it turns out to be a good several feet long. And it's scratched on there in what looks like Goblin, which is very much an unusual language for an academic text of any sort. But it is a fairly common trade language throughout the world, as goblins are pretty much everywhere. And so learning to speak Goblin is not uncommon for pretty much anybody. And it winds up being a thing that, well, if you don't know what the other person speaks, you try Goblin. And on the scroll, Lunez, you'll see your constellation.
This is the one, Professor.
Are you sure that's it?
I am pretty certain that is the same. Yes, I am sure.
Well, then I think our theory was correct. This constellation has appeared in recorded history twice before now.
Okay. Is that...
Once was, as it turns out, though we didn't know it at the time, or rather the researchers didn't know it at the time, it was long before I was born, was just before the first ship landed at what would become Dawn's Harbor. The other time was before that, and it was around the time of the major peace agreement made between the dwarves and the elves. This constellation seems to herald, more than anything else, major events to happen in the world.
Major good event?
I don't know that the fates care in the same way that we do about good and bad. I think that the fates seem to decide in a direction, and it is less whether or not it is good or bad for us, just
is.
Just is.
So, Professor, what does that have to do with the season elves?
It seems that the seasonal elves are present for most of these events because the seasonal elves are the ones that recorded this scroll. I think, and I'm guessing, that the seasonal elves have some part to play in all of this, of whatever may be coming.
Okay. Do you know of any other seasonal elves in Dawn's Harbor currently?
Alma, I know of no other seasonal elves, period,
So I'm the only one.
that I'm aware of, and have been for at least a century, if not longer.
Professor, just a couple of days ago, we actually fought against phase spiders. I say that via telepathy, so that
Mhm.
Gloriosa doesn't hear it.
Those are unusual creatures. Where were you fighting them?
In the forest.
Interesting. I didn't realize they'd gotten so close to the city.
You knew that they were around?
Those spiders tend to travel back and forth between planes. They generally avoid large cities because that tends to be a confluence of people who are able to deal with them in ways that travelers out on lonely roads can't. It's rare that they'll get so close to people.
And I just turned to Gloriosa and like, sorry.
I mean, it's not the
Anything
mention
else
of them.
in the
It's,
archives?
I suspect there's probably more information to be had, but I would have to have someone go searching for it. I can set an archivist on it and send word to you if we find anything. I know there's quite a bit of writing on prophecies and fates and what one finds in dream and that sort of thing.
She perks up at the dream part. The prophecies that have popped up in dreams, are they written, are they had by a particular group of people, or is it a specific?
Well, we keep a list of all of them here on this bottom shelf, and he pulls out a book and opens it up, and there are, in different hands on different pages, descriptions of dreams, professing to pretell everything from particularly bad or good harvests, the death of someone in a town or village, falls of entire countries, and on a lot of the early ones, there's a small note in the upper right corner of the first page that lists true or false and a date upon which that was confirmed. As far as who does it, there have been claims of prophetic dreams from every race and every culture in the world. Generally, though, I have found that the elves tend to be more closely tied to such things, but it may also be that they are more willing to come forward and tell of what they believe might be a prophecy than some other cultures.
Okay. She's gonna give him the cliff notes of the dream that she had while she was at the castle or the palace.
Intriguing.
Thought you might find that interesting,
I
especially
do.
with everything else that has popped up recently.
The two figures that seem to be causing the downfall, you didn't recognize them, did you?
Out of game, did I? No.
I wonder who they were, if they are metaphor or perhaps someone of import. Lunez, do you happen to have a quill on you by chance?
And I hand a tiny quill of a tiny baby owlbear feather. It's the one that he gave me.
The professor smiles and pulls out the far right book on that shelf, pages through, and starts quickly writing in Alma's dream into the book, dating it, and noting the source of it. And closes the book and puts it back. I hope very much that you were wrong, Alma, for all that prophetic dreams can be a positive. Obviously, this one probably certainly is not. That said, if nothing else, you may have given us a warning that might give us an opportunity to get some people to safety where they might not otherwise have. So we thank you for that.
Of course. Anything that threatens my home is not welcome.
I worry that this constellation suggests that something might be coming at some point, but it is difficult to say. I've heard some of the students talking about rumors in the taverns of all manner of things starting to appear outside of the city. I know that there was word that some of the nomadic peoples traveled into the city to seek adventurers for work at some of the inns, which is very unusual as they tend to be extremely self-sufficient on the plains. But I've even heard some of the students tell that there are locals here that believe they saw some sort of drake or wyvern in the sky at one point. No one has been able to confirm it, and I suspect that they are seeing shapes in the clouds more than anything, but if it is possible, well, we haven't seen a dragon on this continent ever. And I think all of us would like to keep it that way.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
I'll get the archivist to look more into the confluence and what this constellation might forebode. And I'll send word to you if I find anything.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.
Is there anything else I might be able to answer before you leave?
I think that might be it.
Yes.
Gloriosa, do you have anything?
What if I was still thinking about the books that you're not supposed to think about?
Well, it depends. Are you thinking about them in the sense of I wonder what is in them, or are you thinking about them in the sense of I think something is in them?
The first one.
Oh, well, then you should be fine. As long as
good.
you don't try to specifically imagine what might be in them, generally they don't have much ability to grab hold of your mind. If
Okay.
you were to come up with a topic you wondered might be in one of them, that can lead to some troubles.
Who would do that?
She's going to turn to her and say, maybe we remove ourselves from the room before you start pondering more on this. I would like to get out of here in one piece, thanks.
Yes, let's go.
I'm not
I mean, it's
laughing
been
in
at least
character, I'm
50
sorry.
years since we lost a student to these tomes.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm
Gloriosa's just kind of pale and just is like, let's Sobis cookies?
Of
Fake
course.
cookies. The cookies were a lie.
Professor, the cookies are real, right? This professor is the one that actually gave me the bag of endless cookies.
Oh yes, these are holiday cookies. They bear no weight as far as nutrition or anything goes, but they won't add to anything at the same time. They are sweet and tasty, but not heavy, if that makes any sense.
They have real sugar in them?
Yes, but the magic prevents calories from taking hold.
As long
You
as the
guys-
sugar's real, I'm good.
Yes,
We're
all
good.
the ingredients are real.
Alma's
But
gonna smirk. Just
As with
look-
all things on the holidays, you can't get fat from them.
Alma's gonna look at the two of them and be like, "Don't tell Robin. Let him continue thinking that they're horrible. He needs to spin out for a second."
Also, I like to think that there's a calendar on the wall that says like this many days since student was possessed by book or something.
There's not anything on the wall that says it, but there is that Alma will notice with her passive perception by the bookshelf. There is a small tally mark that seems to be set next to it.
Love it.
Before we actually leave the room, I'll just turn to the professor and via telepathy, I'll just ask him, Professor, have you learned anything about my ancestors?
I have a lead on some, but the messenger is taking some time to come back from the Druid lands in the north. But I did get the agreement of one of the nomadic groups who will carry that word to us more swiftly once he does leave. My guess is it will probably be another week or two.
Okay. No, I was just, thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, we gotta go. Thank you for all your help. See you later.
I
We'll be
hope that
in
you
touch.
all fare well going forward. And I'll send word to you if needs be.
Thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
And you.
Thank you, Professor.
We'll just go find Sovis. Hope he's okay.
So, DM, real
Mhm.
fast. The students at this academy, I'm guessing all are classed as some kind of spellcaster. No.
Some of them are crafters that are looking to make items that will eventually become enchanted, so they are learning that way. And there are a number of courses that are offered through the academy that are magic adjacent, histories that tie into things, that sort of thing. But most of the students here are learning in some way to either become casters or to harness the casting that they already have, both divine and arcane.
Very good. All right. Is everyone back to the
Yep.
courtyard yet to find us?
Yep, the group will be led out to the courtyard.
And
what do we see out there?
So
Robin is actually reclining in a chair at one of the courthouse tables. He's got the bag of cookies next to him. And Sobus is wrestling with a student who, we'll call this student a, he's wrestling with a half-orc young man. Let's just go with that for now.
Okay.
And handling him very well, by the way.
Yeah, he's noticeably having a good time, but like he's still got it's the good rage this time.
Happy rage.
Like the let's go kind of rage.
He's hyped.
Yeah, he's getting shot by all kinds of spells and stuff, and just having a good time. Noticeably on a sugar high.
Like this kid's a spellcaster, so he like keeps casting stuff at him, but then Sobus would like pick him up and throw him, and he'll get back up and try to shoot him again.
Yeah, the student seems to be one that is specifically working on touch spells.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps getting into grapple, and like a bit of Sobus's arm will go cold, but then he's in a grapple with Sobus and realizes almost immediately that that's really not the ideal place to be when dealing with Sobus, especially when he's angry. And then he gets yeeted.
Yep.
And then he gets back up and tries to cast something else and needs to get into touch range, and the whole thing goes over and over again.
Yeah, Sobus is laughing and having a good time.
Aw.
So that's happening, and Robin notices the rest of the party walk up, so he looks over his shoulder at all of them, and, well, I hope your trip was productive.
It
That
really
is
was.
so cute.
And what did we learn? He's listening to the three of them who just walked up, and he's keeping his eye on Sobus.
Sorry, I'm trying to die. Alma is going to talk to Robin, but just watching very, very closely, just in case something were to get out of hand between those two, as they continue to play like the little puppies that they are.
It's like I'm a child.
Yeah, I just run towards the whole group and like, go Sobis! You got this!
We're proud parents at the dog park.
Exactly what it is.
It's pretty much, yep.
So anyway, that's what we learned. We just download everything else. too.
Very good, very good. Okay, so that means, where's our next stop?
I think we need to go to the palace.
Seems like the right move. Seems like the happening place lately. A little less height on your throws. You get more distance if you throw a little horizontal. What's the word? Flat throws, Sobi.
Yeah,
Not so high.
yeah, all right. And I'll like granny throw him.
Sobus,
Yeah.
you about ready to go now?
Oh, he's almost done. He's almost done. One more pin to win, Sobi.
Yeah, all right. And I'll square off with Mr. Casterman.
While he's squaring off, I'm gonna lean over and ask Robin, did you put a bet on Sobus?
It's not a bet. I just told Sobus he could have the cookie bag back if he won, and told the young man if he beat Sobus, he'd get paid.
Alma turns on her heels and stares straight at you. Did what?
As that happens, I would like to, I'll get down like I'm a lineman, just ready to go. And then as he starts casting, I will just charge at him and just full tackle.
While he's doing that, Alma's looking at Robin going, you bet him against a student? Are you out of your mind?
The student bet himself against me. Think of it like a paid training.
But you know better.
And smash.
Welcome back, Alma.
There's a sort of a strangled yelp from underneath Sobus. And one of the other students goes, "No, don't worry, I'm studying healing," and runs over.
Read the room, darling. Read the room.
I'm just
We're
cheering.
all fine here.
Yeah, I'm just cheering for Sobis. And, yay, Sobis! Prestidigitate fireworks and stuff. Yay! And fireworks that looks like Sobis written.
Yeah, I'll kind of get up and I'll pick the dude up and stand him up and walk back over to Robin. And I'll have that cookie bag back, please.
Well, you see there, it
Robin.
does belong to Lunez, so
Can I have one?
let's grab a handful more.
Yeah.
And then back to Moonchild. As Robin hands off the cookie bag, he turns to the student and says, "Did we enjoy our training session, young man?"
The young man seems to be sort of swaying on his feet as he's been healed and seems none the worse for wear, but there's still at least a few things bouncing around in his skull that probably should have been more stationary. And he sort of nods. At least on the plus side, 6 or 7 of us along the line were able to use these trainings to help practice our spells.
Fair enough. I believe what we agreed upon was 2 silver.
That sounds right. Sure.
And so Robin holds out his hand.
And the young man will go ahead and take the 2 silver and nod and sort of stumble off towards what looked to be a group of clerical students.
I'm sorry, did you say 6 of us? Strike? Out of play. Did you
Did
say
I say
6 of us?
6 of you?
You said 6.
When the young man
6
was saying,
clerical students.
oh, okay, they were just watching.
Well, they were taking turns healing.
There we go.
and-
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Because I took that to mean like he had done this with 5 of the
No, it
students.
was he
So I
beat
was
up the
like,
guy, and the guy has to go and get healed. So that's another student that gets to practice, and then so on and so forth.
I gotcha.
So it wasn't 6 students. He beat up the same guy 6 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then several people got to practice their healing magic on him.
And that's when Robin saunters over to the clerical students and said, I believe we agreed on 3 copper apiece.
They all nod.
And so Robin collects 18 copper from each of these students, puts it in his coin pouch, turns back around, walks over to the party. Everyone wins. It wasn't a bet, Glory. If Sobis lost, that's good experience and training, which I am happy to pay for. When Sobis wins, that's good experience and training that they are happy to pay for.
I think of it as paid tutelage.
Alma's gonna flick him.
You know, that would hurt more, but I can't quite hear you over the jingling. And he puts his coin purse back into his jacket. Yeah, so I got 2 silver and 6 copper off of that. Yay.
There you go.
Are you hurt, Sobis?
Oh, he nicked me a little bit, but
Right.
I'm fine.
I'll just heal you up with my pupper. I'm gonna use the
I love
cure
the
wounds.
pupper.
Hey,
That's my favorite.
good pupper.
Oh, that's it. You get 7 points back.
Dope. Good to go.
So we'll have to go home, or where are we going now?
Maybe
I
go
believe
home.
our next stop was at the palace. Run along ahead. I'll be right there. I'll make sure to hurry off down the road after you. Perception check for any vendors adjacent to campus and what types of vendors there might be.
So a lot like with any regular sort of college campus, there are a number of small food vendors, places where you can grab a quick bite to eat as you're crossing the quad. There are booksellers, in particular sellers of vellum and ink that go through a fair bit. There are also the occasional reagent sellers, people who are selling specifically things for individual classes. Oh, you're doing potion making. You're going to need these herbs. You're going to need about a dozen packets of this, and so on and so forth. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot of vendors that are super adjacent to the academy itself. Most of them will be in the merchant district proper.
Okay, well, then Robin looks around and says, "Never anything good to sell near a campus." Very well. And he catches up to the rest of the party. Are we actually passing through the merchant district?
Yes, you will pass through the trade district on your way to the palace.
All right, then. Out of play. Anybody need anything while we're walking and talking between here and the palace?
Silvis is just gonna say, at some point I would like to talk to everyone, but maybe not in public. He's got a very serious look on his face.
Are you sure, Sobi?
Yeah.
You're
I've thought a lot about it, and I feel like I owe everyone an explanation. And Alma she'll get filled in.
are you sure are you sure you're ready?
Yeah.
'Cause
I didn't sleep well. I didn't sleep well last night. I was thinking real hard about it, and then I got a headache, and then my nose started bleeding, and yeah. But I think I do.
we agreed no that we never had to know. You never have to tell.
Yeah, I was talking to Lunis a little bit, and I mean, you all are as close to Robin. You shut your face, and I'll put my claw over his mouth, and you all
Covers his whole face.
You're
You're trying to go for just the mouth, but just
I'll just palm your face. You all are as close to family as I have, and I feel like I can trust all of you. And after what happened yesterday, I feel like you all need to know.
Huh? Do you want us to detour for a second so you can?
Yeah. If I don't like people passing by. If we could go to somewhere more private.
Let's go to the
I'll
there's,
remove my
like,
claw from his face.
trying to finish a sentence.
I'm sorry.
What if we go to the courtyard outside of the Cross Keys or something like that? That way we're not in the common room for people to overhear.
Yeah, that's all right.
oh, fantastic! That's even better. So, as we are heading back to the Cross Keys, another detour before we hit the palace, there is a vendor of, I guess, general adventuring supplies. He's not a specialist really in armor or weaponry or potions. He just kind of has a little bit of everything. And being near the Cross Keys Inn, since he's trying to market to travelers, he's just kind of the adventurer's convenience store equivalent that Robin likes to frequent. And so it's just before we reach the Cross Keys Inn, Robin will turn to the group and let them know, just a moment. I need to stop in just for a few things. And he'll, as the group, you guys can decide whether to wait outside or carry on. But Robin will step right into the door there. And walks in. What do I see inside?
So inside the shop is a fairly broad range of all sorts of various goods. It's all the sort of thing that, this is basic player's handbook style goods. These are your 50 foot of rope in different types, your fishing net, your travel shovel, your tents, your bedrolls, torches, potions of basic healing, water skins, rations. There's a whole end cap of rations for different cultural groups. So there's a set of rations that could have come straight out of Nibiru and tends more towards fruit and cheeses rather than meat. There are some from the nomadic area that is a lot more game, duck and fowl, as well as some dried meat and a very hard bread. And then there's an entire like several shelves worth of various kits with ropes and lines, grappling hooks, things for delving into dungeons, things for climbing, all of that sort of thing.
Oh, very good. And Robin will walk in, look around. He's not seeing anyone manning the counter, and so he calls out. Just a moment. Jasper! Jasper, you in here?
Hold on a minute, hold on, I'm coming. And Jasper makes his way from the back room. He's got a length of rope about 6 feet strung on one shoulder. He's got a large bag that seems to have a small amount of smoke coming out from the inside that he's sort of tying off, and comes up. Robin, what can I do for you?
In the way of armor, what's been coming in lately? Anything good? How's the shipments?
Well, we've been getting a fair bit of leather from the north that is coming in as some of the nomadic groups have swung far enough south to start trading again, and they generally bring some good stuff. We've also gotten some interesting scale armor from out west. No one is telling us whose scales, but they're scale and they seem to be fairly sturdy. I'd almost say something, it's not draconic, the scales aren't big enough, but I mean, it could be some sort of aquatic creature. I'm not sure, but they're fairly hard and they'll stand up to a beating.
Anything in the way of bracers?
I know that we've gotten materials in to have bracers made of leather, steel, as well as some of those scales that I was mentioning earlier. Just
Fantastic.
Kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Fantastic. The scales. Tested the properties yet?
Not specifically.
Even better. Experimental mystery scale bracers. I like a pair. Commissioned.
Okay. For you or for Sobis?
Neither. Let's have them delivered. Your boy still does home calls, doesn't he?
Sure.
Very well. And Robin pulls out paper and pen from his jacket, lays it on the counter. About these dimensions. Let's make it adjustable. Be generous with the straps. And just in case. However, not too big on the bracer itself. And he's writing all this down. And here's the address.
Okay.
As soon as you let me know, as soon as you have it sent, let me know. Just send word to Helwas.
Okay. We can make that happen.
Excellent. Jasper, you're a saint.
I don't think that's accurate, but we do what we can.
You can. As soon as I receive word that the order's gone out, I'll make sure to leave payment with Helwas. What should we say?
Well, do you want me to test them first, or do you want me to just make them?
Just make them. Let's find out what these do later.
Let's call it 150. Because this is coming from out west. We don't have a ton of it.
Of course it is. Of course, I understand. Let's see. $250 and I deliver? Or not 250, 125 and I deliver?
All right, we can do that.
Very good. Take that back. 150 is good enough. And inscribe this on the bracer, please. Writes again on the paper. 150. You'll have it. I'll get it straight to Helwas.
Perfect.
Jasper, you're amazing. Don't stop being you. We'll see you around.
All right. And with that,
And
you
Robin-
guys can
Robin
make it
leaves.
back to the Cross Keys.
Did the party wait outside for me there, or did you guys move on?
I assume they went on towards the Cross Keys and you just catch up with them.
Good enough.
I went to the cross keys, yeah. I'm like, I've got an arm around like Sobus's leg, trying to hug him.
I like the idea of everybody trying to hug Sobus and just hugging his legs, and so he just keeps walking.
We're all a little family.
Yeah, yeah. He's so bored at this point, he's just dragging his axe behind him. Just want to hit something.
He's bored. I'm gonna hug him harder. He's bored.
Yeah, I can almost feel that. Anyways, so we get back to the Cross Keys.
Yep.
All right. Once we're outside of the Cross Keys, I'm just gonna get everybody together and get us to a place where there's not people walking by and, you know, prying ears around us. Can I make a perception check?
Sure.
This should go great.
Should any of us help him? Can we lend?
Yeah, you can all go ahead and give me perception.
All right. Uh, 19 on Robin.
Okay.
19 for Alma.
All right.
24 for Lucas.
Nothing is sneaking up on you guys. So you
Having
are
fun.
reasonably certain that no one is going to be creeping up on you or spying on you. Gloriosa, you are reasonably sure you're in a building, but you've been wrong before.
I don't think it showed up on Roll20, but I got a 9.
Okay. Sobus, you're sure you're in a building.
Dope.
Fairly certain.
Awesome. There's a roof. Great. Cool. Yeah. All right. So
Are you sure there's a roof?
so after yesterday, I feel like I owe you all at least an explanation. Robin knows some of this, but before I came to Dawn's Harbor, I was not free. I was a slave. Specifically, that's the word. Specifically, I was a gladiator. I was forced to fight and do all kinds of things that I didn't want to do. I was separated from my family at a very early age, and they gave me this. And he'll show like a very clear presentation of his brand. Which Strike, can you describe it again? I don't remember off the top of my head.
So the brand, and I will put a picture of it up in the Discord for folks later, is a very stylized skull with a slightly open jaw, and that jaw, where there would be like blackness or something otherwise denoting the gap there, appears to be made of what it looks almost like still molten copper on Sobus's skin.
Yeah, they gave me this when I was purchased. I was not a very aggressive child. Most of this comes from the training that I got there. I was forced to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do. Robin, I feel like the connection I have with you is because you remind me of one of my friends there. His name was Isham. He was a gladiator with me, and Sobus kind of takes a second to collect himself. I had to kill him.
Sobi, I never knew.
Yeah, you kind of remind me of him. He was quite a smooth talker as well. But that's why I have such a hard time with these people. I usually can control myself, but when it comes to these people, I have trouble.
Sobis.
And this guy, he had an emblem on his shirt. He works for at least the same area where I was. Also, and he thinks a second. Also, I think Miro has something to do with them. Our ranger friend, but on my end, I don't think he worked for them. I think he's like me. But yeah, I wanted to tell you all because I don't have a family anymore, and families trust each other, and I trust you all. And he sort of eyes Robin like he's gonna say something.
And we're here for you, Sobi. I didn't know how far they made you go. And I'm sorry if I ever push you too hard in the ring. Sobis, you pick the fights you want to fight from now on. Okay? You pick your own fights. I'll make sure you do well.
I appreciate that. I don't like hurting people, but I mean I'm good at it. And you always taught me to play to your strengths.
And you do that well.
And I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you all because I trust you, and I kind of went a little crazy earlier, and I figure it warranted an explanation.
Out of play, real quick, DM.
Mm-hmm.
What are the laws on fugitive gladiators or fugitive?
Dawn's Harbor is strictly anti-forced slavery. If you did not choose to work for someone, you cannot be forced to do so. They will never repatriate. They are vehemently against it. Humanity, because of its origins on Utharia, is very much of the opinion that if you take away the free will of somebody else, that is the worst thing you can possibly do to a person. And that is never going to be tolerated by the public at large. That said, much like a lot of things, it's remarkable how many things can fly under the radar with the right kind of money involved and everything else. That said, Queen Calliope is notoriously anti-slavery or anything of that sort. So you can expect a strong reaction from her should anything ever actually land in her arena.
Also, important part of that story, I was not set free by choice. I guess it was my choice. I ran away. It's the only time I've ever run away from anything. But I stowed away on a ship. I got here and I wandered. I wandered for a really long time. I did a lot of things to survive that I'm not proud of. And then I ran into Robin because I had gotten in sort of over my head a little bit, and Robin swooped in just like Isham and talked me out of trouble.
Sobus had made the acquaintance of a rather pompous prick who owed me some money. So, blaming the altercation on the other gentleman seemed advantageous at the time, but just seemed obvious you were running from something. You needed the guard off. You needed the guard off of you, and I was more than happy to get them distracted. Sobi.
Yeah, and that's why I get so nervous whenever people like that are around, because I ran away, and I imagine, I mean, the punishment for that is literal death where I'm from, so I figured, that's why I'm so paranoid. That's why I don't like those people being alive anywhere in my vicinity.
Well, Sobi, we don't have to fight this fight. We don't have to take you back to that battle. You don't have to go. We've caught one. He'll see his justice. You don't have to fight this anymore. Like I said, you get to fight the battles you choose now.
Yeah. I just want you all to understand that, why I get so angry sometimes. Specifically at, the sack of shit that we beat the hell out of yesterday. Day before yesterday, whenever that was. There's no restraint there. And I just need you to know why.
And so, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing that story with us.
Yeah.
I want to be a hero, a biggest hero there is. But if this is something you don't want to do, I would gladly not go and be a hero, because I love you. We all love you. We're here for you.
I mean,
Isn't that right, everybody?
Alma's gonna get up and walk around to Sobus. She's not much of a hugger. He knows this, but she's gonna kind of try to hug his arm.
Good hug, everybody.
Sobus will take full advantage of this and just scoop everyone up.
We love you,
I'm so
Sobus.
sorry that happened, Sobus. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Sobus.
It's alright.
You never have to go back to that. You never, ever, if anybody tries, we will stop them. Every time.
Honestly, being with you all makes me feel like I can do anything, so I feel like now I could go back and, give them what for if we wanted. But, I know we got bigger fish to fry.
Oh, this is a big fish, Sobi. So,
How big of a fish is it?
Oh, sorry. Helwas?
Helwis will come by with a tray on her hip.
Did you just yell like through the window? Aren't we outside?
Are we?
I thought
We're,
you guys
we're
were
inside,
remember.
We're
right?
inside.
I really thought we were at the table.
Oh,
Yeah,
We're inside.
sorry.
You rolled a 9 on perception. You know we're in the
Remember?
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
I think the comment was you are certain you're in a building.
You might be.
But I guess you weren't so certain you were in a building.
I mean, it's a 9. Let's make a
Let's be honest.
There's a little wiggle
Alright.
room.
So when Hellas comes over, Robin goes, with all those ships in the harbor, there's certainly some fish and chips on the menu tonight, correct?
Oh, of course.
The biggest plate you've got for the biggest lug we love.
Of course. And she will come back with what appears to be almost an entire, like, 1.5 foot long cod that has been cut and battered and fried and is artfully placed on top of a mound of potatoes set perfectly on the center of the plate in front of Sobis.
So
And then she will pause and hand Robin a small note.
excellent. Thank you, sir. Or thank you, Hellas. In any case, Sobi, this is a fish worth frying. So, if you want to fight, we will destroy them.
I'm gonna let it be known right now that I would very much like to fry this fish. However, I am afraid. But like I said, being with you all makes me feel like I can do anything, and I mean that.
Well, like I said, you pick your fights from now on. So if you pick this one, just tell us when, and we go.
We'll be ready.
Yeah, all right.
Robin then looks at the note Hellas just passed him.
The note is from the captain of the guard, and it says, your summons for the trial, second bell tomorrow morning.
Well, isn't that good timing? Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our good friend Drotar will receive his justice tomorrow. So, if you really want to see one of these shitbags go down, Sobi, looks like we've got an early morning.
Oh, it's a summons. You're all expected to be there to give testimony.
Of course.
Oh,
Alma was not there.
You're part of the group.
they're coming.
You're along for the ride here, Alma.
Do we get to dress up?
You'd better. It's a palace function.
Oh, that
Gotta
means,
go shopping.
that means I've got to wear
I'm
a shirt
going
again.
It's not. And if I understand the summons correctly, this is a public hearing.
Yes, it's a public audience.
People will come to see justice done, and they might want to see the doers of the justice.
Okay, so Gloriosa is like wiping away all was tears all streaming, but like is wiping away the tears. I have to go shopping. I need a dress, and I don't have anything to wear. I'm going shopping right now. Who's coming?
For that, can we raise a glass for Sobis?
For
Oh.
Sobis.
For Sobis.
And with that, I think we have reached a wonderful moment to go ahead and call it for this week. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and spending time with us this morning. I know that it is early, for some earlier than others, but we're always happy to see all of the wonderful faces and names in chat coming by and watching along and going for. And it is always a wonderful experience to share the story of this world with these wonderful players. I couldn't do it without them, and I'm so glad that they're here for the ride. So real quick, I'm going to let everybody go around the room because I know that we've got some announcements coming before our next show. So I will go ahead and start with Sobus, aka Big B. What have you got coming up in the immediate future?
In the immediate future, I started streaming on my own channel. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Monday, Wednesday is at 6 p.m. Central. Saturday is at 3 p.m. Central. This coming Monday, we got some more Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I will continue my playthrough of that. And that's what I've got coming up in the immediate future.
All right. Alma, Jess.
So you can find me on the Twitters at Jessica Skell, and on the 17th you can catch me and Finn hosting What Streams May Come, since we're in our second season, and we are doing, and he can say the name, I'm not going to, we're doing the Scottish play.
We're doing Macbeth. We're doing Macbeth.
So.
And it's doomed.
This is the dynamic that we are going to bring to the entire evening.
Yep. I love you, Finn.
If there was any night to spit in the eyes of gods and invite the chaos, it's the night that we do Macbeth.
Oh boy.
Stop it. You're stressing me out. I'm not even in it.
It's like you're taking me to Disney World and telling me not to go on any of the rides.
That's true.
On that note, Strike.
All right. Gloriosa.
You can find me at Blaze of Gloriosa on Twitter and also on Twitch. That's where we are. And I stream Evil Genius 2 for the most part. Also some crafting. So it's pretty low key. Come on by, see what we're up to. The next stream is going to be on, what day is today? Sunday? Tuesday. It's going to be on Tuesday. So come on by, pay me a visit. Love to see you.
All right. And last but certainly not least, our beloved Lunas, Robo Goblin.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Robo Goblin. You can find me here every bi-weekly week. And I'm at Robo Goblin on Twitter and at TTRP Gifts, where I am actually doing the TTRP Gifts Awards. So if you like somebody or something or feels moments, you can find the categories as my pinned tweet on TTRP Gifts, and you can submit your clips, videos, or whatever to at TTRP Gifts. TTRPgifts@gmail.com.
So excited. Literally the only award show I'm excited for right now.
Thank you so much. And you can submit all the clips. Everybody can enter, and the council will decide on the clips nominated, and we all let you know about that. That's me.
Wonderful. All right. Well, again, thank you everyone for coming by. Make sure that you check out all of these wonderful people. Their links are all in your chat. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Finn and Jess do so much together that I forget sometimes that I can't just necessarily assume that they've covered that. Plus, he jumped in and interrupted, so I'm going to go ahead and call that all right. So, Finn, why don't you wrap us up here?
Fair. Jess plugged the biggest project that I would have plugged anyways, and that's why I did jump in on that. But also here on Chaotic Tiefling, we have wrapped up season 1 of D&D Surprise Party, where I played Squall, the Aarakocra Druid, and had so much fun, unexpectedly falling in love with that character. We are going to have one more session in season 1, and that's our Fireside Chat. So the play has wrapped, but we will be answering any questions that anyone has, that anyone who's been watching the show. So if you want to catch up on the show via Chaotic Tiefling's YouTube, and then be ready with any questions you have for any of the cast, that will be moderated by Babs the Bat on Wednesday this week at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But between that and what streams may come, that's where you can find me. And you can follow me on Twitter, where I say sometimes ridiculous, sometimes funny, and sometimes rage-inducing things at Bloodhaven Bard.
All right. And so with that, again, thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time with us. And we will see you in 2 weeks for an audience with their majesties, the queens. And we're going to go ahead and raid over to a wonderful actual play channel, the Rivals of Waterdeep. Stay tuned.
Rebels.
Hop on over there. They are some wonderful people, definitely worth checking out. Drop them a follow. Take a look at what they've got. They have some really deep, wonderful content that is totally worth watching. So thank you again, and we will see you next time.
Bye, folks.